go on Uber. All right, let's go on Uber, and I'm going to pretty much just leave it like this. And we're gonna go back in time, and I'm not gonna see where the market's at. So let me just, just be fair, just like this. And all I'm gonna do here is just go back in time. All right, we're just gonna go back in time, and we'll see what we can do and what levels to draw out. Um, and let's just see, what is this? The 3rd of January. That's already a full month. So let's go even more. Let's go more. Let's go more. Let's delete all these drawings because I think I did have some drawings. And let's just pretty much do something like this. All right, cool. We just clip somewhere, and this is just how this chart looks like. All right. So, excuse me. So what we're gonna do here is we're going to pretty much, follow the plan, follow the system, and how you can do this as well every single day, every single week, and every single month. And so what you're supposed to be doing is you want to come on these charts and you want to analyze. All right. If the market is going up or is it going down? And then once you find the trend, now we can pretty much, draw out our levels that we pretty much, can use to pretty much predict the market to go up or down. So is a 5 minute time frame enough information, for me to know as in where the market's at? No. I want to go up onto these time frames and I want to just mess with these time frames just to see where the market is at right now. Because you have to know where you're positioned at in this market so you can take the next step. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to the 15 and we're just going to see what's on the left and what's on the right. Let's get some more information, and that's what we're doing. The more that the time frame that we go higher and higher and higher, the more information that we get. So let's just go in a 4 hour just to see on how things are looking like. Okay, cool. So on this 4 hour time frame, now that I see this, now that I see as in what things are going on right now, is Uber on a 4 hour time frame, it's going down. And so that is telling me that there is a lot of supply in the markets within the last, week or two. Okay. And so if the market right here is just dropping right back down, it's like I just want to draw supply zones and I want to see as in can I, you know, look for an area of, a short position so I can make money when the market just drops again to the downside. And so let's just mark this and let's just see as in, what we have. All right. And so remember, market structure is what it is to pretty much identify the swing points of the markets. So what we have here is okay, downtrend, downtrend, downtrend. But look at this. It
Okay.
creates its own low, right? Look at this. Boom. Dropped. This right here, this drop is coming from where? This candlestick, because that's where the last big sell-off happened. And look on how price came back up into
Mm-hmm.
these zones and then sold off again to the downside. And so let's do this again. Boom. Did price come back up in this time and hit this zone? No, it didn't. Right?
No.
It never did. And so again, that's fine. That's okay, but we can leave this just like that. And maybe, days to come, or maybe a week or two, price can somehow come back up into this range. But just know that when the moment that price comes into this zone, there could be an area where you can bet on the market to reject, and now you're buying puts to go right back down. So the most important thing here now is that okay, now that I have the whole, view of the market on an Uber on this 4 hour time frame, now all I gotta do is just focus as in what's inside of here. That's it. That's my whole focus point inside of here and nothing else. All right, nothing else. Because it's like, is price going to come back up to here? Uh, I don't know. I mean, it could, but we'll see. All right. But now that we have this, it's like, okay, let's find its own levels down here. Let's find the last low and the last pullback that it had before it just dropped and made that new ultimate low. So all we got to do here is do this. That's the last low of the market. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's the last low of the market. Where is this low coming from? It's coming from this green candlestick because this is the last buy up that it had before it made this new low. So all I got to do here is boom.
So I go line
That's it.
there. Okay.
That's it. That's all I got to do. Nothing crazy. I mean, yes, we can look for, we can start looking for buy ups, buy ups, buy ups. But all I'm doing here is just waiting for either this to break or this to break and nothing else. There's really nothing else for me to trade. But this right here, this day is Thursday. So remember, there's going to be days or there's going to be a full week that a stock is not even ready at all to be traded. And right now, this right here showed me that there's nothing to be traded. There's really nothing to be, done. And so all I got to do here is just wait for either this high or this low to break. And boom, that's it, and move forward. So let's just see what happens. And again, each candlestick that's going to be printed is going to be it's going to be 4 hours in one candlestick. So let's just wait. Look at this. There was nothing on Thursday, just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But look at this. Price came back down into what? A specific demand zone. Because again, this right here is a demand zone that shot the market up and then pushed the market down. But again, it's like I can trade that if I want to, but is that really going to give me some positions or opportunity to enter for upside? Yeah, I mean slightly, but it still hasn't decided a direction. But we'll see. We'll see if this area here shows me that there's demand. And if so, if money does come in inside of this zone right here, then that's where I want to be going these lower time frames and find smaller demand. So I can look for day trading scalping opportunities for me to, buy in. And I don't have to wait for this level to break or this level to break because now I'm like, okay, price came down and money now is coming into these markets. And now let me just move forward. So let's see what happens. Okay, look at this. This is all Friday, but look at 4 p.m. It just ran up and then just dropped right back down. So there's nothing really. So let's now go into Monday and let's just see what happens on Monday. This is Monday already. This is Monday. Yeah, right here, this candlestick. So let's just see what happens. Nothing. Now we're already in Tuesday. No trade. So again, it's like all we're doing here is just being patient and seeing how does money come into this market or how does it withdraw? Because again, right now it's just consolidating. I don't know what can happen. It can either drop or it can run up. Okay, now we start seeing this. Look at this. Thursday. Yep, Thursday now is showing us something. Now it's showing us that, okay, it's touching that red line. And now what I want to see here is I want to see a big closure above that red line. So let's go on a lower time frame and let's see if we can find a day trade or scalp opportunity for upside on Friday, because Friday is like right here. So let's go on a lower time frame. Let's go into maybe like a 15-minute time frame. And look at this. Money's coming in. Money's being poured on Uber in this area, in this zone, or in this ranges. And now all I got to do here is just wait for that red line to be broken so I can look for an opportunity to enter. So this is already what? Thursday, 9:45, 10 a.m., 10:30, 10:45, 11. This is basically Thursday. All right, this is what Thursday is looking like. The market just shooting up. So we'll see what happens. Look at this. Came right back up. And look at this. This is already at what? Thursday nearing the end of the day. And remember, towards the end of the day on these markets, the volume comes in a lot. Remember, the highest volume in the market, and this is what we read in the ebook, is that usually the highest volume happens at the market open and at the market
before
close.
close.
Yeah, in an hour before the market closed, correct. And so now look at this. Look at the time right here on the bottom. It says 2:15. 2:15, 2:30 is just when, okay, people starts gathering, seeing how can they, place their last trades or close their positions for profits, this and that. And right now it's showing me that, hey, that red line has been broken and the market is just now pushing up. And so what I want to see here is, since price broke above this red line, which is an important area, I want to see if I can find an opportunity for me to enter into this market. So if I just zoom into here, just like this, what do I need to do? I want to look for a retest. Or retest into what? A demand zone. How do you draw a demand zone? It's the red candle
Let's
before
candle.
the buy up. So all I got to do here is like, okay, red candle, just a red candle from this wick to this wick, extend it to the right, just like this. And all I got to do is just wait for price to come back down, which is the candlesticks. All right. So when I say price, it's the candlesticks. So
I know what you're talking.
and I just want to see price come back down and then bounce. And that's what I did this morning on TQQQ. All right. Also SPY on the S&P. So let's just see if we can look for a pullback. There you go. Look at that. So price ran up, came back down, but look on how they just shot the market down like this. When I see things like this, is like, one, I love to wait for retest. Two, price just came very aggressive inside that demand zone. That's something that I don't really like to see. I like to see nice pullbacks, nice rejections inside that demand zone. But for now, it looks like sellers wants to just break this zone and just go, take this down to the downside.
Get
And
downtrend.
correct. And if that does happen, then all I gotta do here is okay. I can't get a position today, but maybe there could be a position tomorrow because it's Thursday and Friday. And that's fine. There's really no rush. So let's just see what happens. This is already 2:50, 3 o'clock. There's really nothing going on right now. So let's just wait and let's just see what happens. So let's just see. Okay, cool. Look at this. Money's coming in around 305. But again, it's not really the best setup. I mean, some people would, trade this already, but for me, I don't like it. Just because the way that price just came back down very aggressive. I would say if all this right here happened a little bit above it, then yes, I would have placed a trade. But since it came in too deep inside of here, I don't like it. So now I gotta wait till tomorrow to find a trade. But so far right now, the things that, the zones, the structure, waiting for the retest, you can see on how vital it is just to look for that. So let's just wait and let's see what happens. Perfect. Look at this. Ran up, made a new high, came back down. Hey, we're not here to chase. We're here to, look for an actual setup. Okay, we're here to look for a setup that's gonna, help us decide, are we gonna buy or sell? In this case, we're trying to buy it up. So let's just wait. Let's just wait. Look at this. Nice. It's a good thing that I waited. All right. Zoom out just like this. The market's still pushing up. Don't get me wrong. It's still pushing up. But now it's like tomorrow can be another opportunity for me to enter. So let's just wait. Let's just wait. And if this runs up overnight, that's fine. That's perfect. I mean, it's not the end of the world. We just pretty much just like find another setup. So let's just see. 9 a.m. for me, the market opens right here. Just like that. And it looks like the market is up. Okay. The market's making higher highs and higher lows. And great. That's fantastic. Okay, so let's just put it right here. So look at this. So in this case, the market, the last recent break is this. Okay, that's the last recent break. This is the last high. Okay, how do I draw a demand zone? The same way that we did right here. Shot up, pull back, hit the demand zone, and then retest. Same thing right here. Made a new high, broke above the previous highs. How do you draw a demand zone? It's the last down candle before the push up.
Push up. Okay.
And look on how price came back down and tested that demand zone, and we can call it a 5-minute demand. Just like this. And now we're just waiting for 9:30. 9:30 is we're going to be trading Uber, right? Uber right after this purple line if we do see a setup. So look at this. Boom. Price came back down into this demand zone. This would have been a quick move. You see that? You see on how this demand zones are holding. And even if I
Mm-hmm.
go into 1 minute time frame, the market opened right here. Look at this. The
Mm-hmm.
market opened right there, and that worked. You can see that all we're doing is flowing where money's going to. And you can see that we were on the 30, the hour, and things like that. And we're just betting on this to go up. And remember, we had a level down here and we had a level up here. And we just
Mm-hmm.
waited for this one top one to break. And if it broke, then perfect. We're going to start looking for long opportunities because we're trying to just flow with it, trying to flow where money's coming into this market. And remember, we're not here to guess the bottom low. We're here to real deal see where money's coming in and where's it coming out and which what can I do with the information. Is it to get into here and then drive all the way up to connect the dots on the 4 hour picture? Because remember, the 4 hour picture, it's there, it holds more power, and that's the trend on Uber on a bigger picture. But the thing is that when you go in these lower time frames, just like what we did a second ago, is you're saying that and you're looking for those information or the specific information for you to place a quick trade so you can make 30%, 40%, 50%, and your day, boom, that's it. You just made money within 30 minutes or an hour. And in this case, if we go in the 5 minute time frame, this is already 5 minutes. This is 5 minutes of your time, and all you had to do here, just look for the recent break, look for that 5 minute box demand zone, trade off that demand zone on that 1 minute, 5 minute, and that's pretty much what it is. You see it
Mm-hmm.
holding, boom, that's it. And this is what we did this morning as well on TQQQ. I broke it down. We broke it down step by step, and I said, hey, this is what it is. I want to see it bounce, and this is what I do every single morning, and this is on how I make money every single morning. And you can see that it was just 20 minutes, 30 minutes of my time, and it was 30 minutes to set up, um, and another 30 minutes for for the entry and the execution. I'm not here to, or no one's here to be on these screens and trying to trade everything that they see in this market. But it's like you want to come into these charts and trade the system that you're going off of every single morning, every single day, and you want to stay consistent with that. And I've been doing this for years now. I've been teaching students over and over on how to do this. And so here it worked. Break, a retest, the zone, and now we drew a zone because this is where we believe that there is money inside these areas. And it's right here showed us that money came in and price just pushed up higher. So let's just see on how high this goes. This can go to the moon. This can go parabolic, or this can just like pull right back down. We really don't know. This is why managing, this is why taking profits, this is why setting the system around 20 to 30% is what you can do as well. Um, but also, it's like if you do take 20 to 30% and you have like a runner, if you have multiple contracts and you leave one to ride, that runner can make you money still. And you just let it do its thing. It's just like letting a dog off its leash, boom, runs. And that's what we're doing. And that's what we're telling our brokerage for it to do, as in, okay, maybe we bought 3 contracts, let's say 3 contracts, and I want to, take off 2. So I'm paying myself 2 contracts for a profit of $150, but now I still have 1 contract that can still, do numbers. And let's just say if this runs and runs and runs and hits like 6 or 6 4 or yeah 64.94, and perfect. Maybe that's another target that you have in mind, and that's where you want to take your last contract so it can make another additional, let's just say, extra $50. 150 plus 50 is $200 profit. And that's on how you really want to approach trading. So let's just put play. Let's see what happens. Boom, look at this. Came back down. And now think about this. If you had those 3 contracts, but you didn't take 2 off, then you didn't pay yourself. you weren't able to pay yourself because maybe one, you were pretty much seeing that, price to continue going higher. Maybe that's one. Maybe two, it could have been FOMO or greed. Who knows? It's just different factors. All right. And what I say is that make sure to always pay yourself. Or if you didn't get to, then that's fine. Close it. There's always another trade. Don't try to hold off hope. Don't try to, you know, just like, oh, it's gonna reverse here. No, it's like if we have that, then it can, ruin us in the long run. Okay. So I've been there, I've done that. There's times that I was like, oh snap, why didn't I take profits? But now that price came back down to here, and I told myself in my mind that it has to bounce here because it bounced here one time, it can bounce here again. But now I'm like, I'm going off of hope now. Don't let hope,
Mhm.
don't let hope get to you because if you let hope,
Mhm.
come into your mind, and that's going to affect the way that you trade. And we're not 100% focused in the actual setup itself because now later down the line or just at the end of the day, you're gonna be like, wow, that one thought came to my head, which is hope. Um, and look what I caused. This. I wasn't able to execute the right way or the way that I wanted to, and this happened. So let's see what happens here. Um, and let's just see if this is gonna bounce again. But who knows? We'll see. This can die off still. This can just pull right back down and become bad a setup. But we'll see. This is what? This is already 9:48, 9:50, 10 a.m. Okay, cool. So let's just see what happens. It's still part of this demand zone, of course. And all we're doing here is just waiting. All right, we're just waiting. Nice. This one actually did run up a little bit, but now look at this. We're now looking for another day trade, let's say. Now let's just say that I'm in the Discord and I'm telling everybody, hey, we're looking at Uber still. Set alerts. Uber can pretty much give you another setup later today or later within that day. But hey, we still have our zones, we still have our levels, but let's just wait and see what can we do with it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to mark out the area where we've just been resisting, which is right here.
Mhm.
Here, here, and you can see that again, we're just drawing levels where we saw that there was resistance at the time. And now look
Mhm.
at this. So now this is showing me that there is money right here off of these demand zones. Demand zones, demand zones, demand zones. And all I'm doing here is just waiting for price to give me an actual entry. So the same thing that we did right here. Remember, it broke that one red line. We waited for price to pull back, and we're looking for that bounce. That's what we're doing right here. It broke above that red line, and we're looking for a pullback. Let's see if we can get a pullback. And so let's pull play right there. You see that? That right there
Mhm.
is an area where you can enter just like this. And you can include a little bit just in case if it wants to pull back even more. But for me, it's like I'll keep it this wide just because I can incise in a few, and then later down the line, if it makes a new high, just like let's just say above here, I can add in more. This is the way that I trade on my live calls. So basically, what I'm saying is that there is areas of resistance right here, but now it's acting like support, and we can
When it
see
pulled back there, that's where you would re-enter in.
correct because it shows me a
Okay.
retest and a big
Mhm.
rejection off of it.
And a quick yeah. Okay.
Yep. And so let's just see if this works. Let's just see what happens. Okay, look at this. Ran up, then dropped right back down. And so now it's like, do I need to wait for a better confirmation so I can size it much more heavier? Or should I just let this to ride? And if I get stopped out, I get stopped out. That all comes down to live trading. This is what, decisions and things like that has to come in when it comes down to, these live markets. Because all I know here is that the market made a new high technically. Because if I go back on this line graph, it's basically making new highs. And so therefore, I want to see if we can pretty much just bounce. Look at this. Voila. At the end of the day, we're not always going to get the best entry, but we have a direction that we want to go off of. And that's basically off support and resistance levels. And now you can see that, excuse me, we were red, but now we're green in our positions. And so what I'm going to do here, what's the best thing to do here is let me size my my stop loss much more smaller. Because yes, I had it wide, but since I already made a new high, let me do 50% of it, just like right here. Just half of it, because it was like this, and all I got to do is just cut it in half. And there you go. And now all I got to do here is write a note for myself is if price comes lower or below here again, I'm out. That's it. But for right now, we can say we're up like, maybe like 8%, let's say. 8%, 8%. Okay, so let's put this here.
So where would you set your target point to the?
So this is what I'm saying. This is what I said earlier, is that you can have a system around 20%, 30% and call it a
Okay,
day.
okay,
Okay, so
okay,
you can set it just like that. Because to me,
okay,
that's what I would do. All right,
okay.
that's what I do, because right now it's like we can say all this right here. It's like an all-time high and just keeps on making new highs, new highs, new highs. And we can say that, hey, there's really no levels to targets. All we're just trying to do here, just continue where the money's going to. And if I see
Hmm.
20 to 30%, that's what I want to secure as in day trading purposes, then that's what I want to go off of. Right.
Gotcha.
So let's
Okay.
just play. Let's just see what happens. What time is this? This is 10:43, 10:44. And so again, this right here, these times can be pretty much like times that there's not going to be a lot of value, but later down, in the day, there could be value that can, kick in. And remember, we already set a rule for ourselves that if price comes below here again, I'm out. Okay. And
Hmm.
there's always another trade. We're not here to hope, 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 hope. And we're here to really trade off of a real system. That's what's going to make you profitable in the long run. Even though that, yes, our levels are looking great, they're looking beautiful, they're respecting, then, if it delivers, it delivers, voila. But if not, okay, cool, fantastic. So let's put play. Nice. Look at this, a little bit higher. Now 8% is now 10%, but it's not the way that we wanted to go to, but as long as we're still holding and we still see it making new highs, and perfect. So now that it's just making new highs and just looking very slow, you can minimize your stop loss and you can break even, meaning that you can lower and manage risk is what I'm trying to say. So let's put play. There you go. And now that right there leads you into a nice 15% profit right there. 15%, and you decide, do you want to close for, in profits? If so, then perfect, and then that's it. Because maybe it's moving too slow. Maybe, it's doing this, it's doing that. This is just like, hey, this is what the price is looking like right now. It's kind of slow, and I'm kind of satisfied with my profits. I mean, my goal was 20%, but I'm gonna just accept this 15%, and I'm gonna look for another setup, another trade tomorrow. Because maybe also I don't have the time to be on these screens, and right now it's pretty much already been on these screens for like let's say 2 hours already. Maybe the amount that I have on these charts is an hour and 30 minutes, but now I'm overextending that, which is 30 minutes now. It's like an hour and a half or 2 hours. And so you also have to, know that, okay, this is the time that I have in the markets, and this is what I want to trade off. This is the only time that I can trade. And if that's the only time that you can trade, then okay, we can do things like that as well. So let's put play and let's see what happens. Look at this. Dies off. There you go. So you can see that in day trading scalping, things can change very, very quick. And this is what I'd say in those live calls and those live voice chats, is things like that can change. So now, can it come back down and hit that one green level, green zone again? Yeah, of course, it can. It can. And it can give you a big bounce. But we're not here to be like, oh, we entered, but now we're down. But now I see this one level here, and let's start holding again. Because if you start doing that, then it's going to pretty much just burn your account in the long run. So let's just say, okay, yeah, 50%, 15% right here, perfect. And now let's look for another setup. Let's look for another trade, another setup. But now it's like, it's still 11:10. Okay, it's only 2 hours in the market, basically. And we're going to see if we can look for another setup, another trade. But so far, this is what the whole thing looks like from the market open till now, because the market open was right here. Think about it. There was a trade here to go long. Nice, 15, 20%. Boom. Before just price just dropped again. And you can see that Uber is only giving you 15 to 20% max before it just dies off or just pulls back. So now if I'm looking for a third trade or another trade, or maybe my first trade for the day, I'm like, okay, let's look and see as in how this ran up and then drop very aggressive. Okay, same thing right here. Look on how this ran up and then drop very aggressive. It looks like Uber it's kind of being tricky today, and it's not delivering as in what it should be delivering. So we're going to see as in what can happen next. So let's put play, because we still have this level here, and we're going to see what can happen. But right now, price is basically going up. It's going up. So if I go back on that 4-hour time frame, let's just see on how things look like. But remember, you want to see how things are performing. So if I delete everything, or not everything, but just this part right here, all we see right here, the last 4 hours just pushing up. It's just pushing up. And so remember, in that 4-hour candle, this 4-hour candle, it tells you what happened in the last 4 hours. Okay. And that's what you're doing, is you're inside of this candlestick and day trading that candlestick. That's what you're doing. So this is already 8. The next candle will be at 12 o'clock. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 4 hours. Okay. So we'll see what happens next. And look at this. This is a 15-minute candle. And so now it's like, this is on how things are looking like on the 15, the 5, and the 1. I know that, we saw right here, as in what we just mentioned, the 1 minute, the 5 minute, we had zones. But now we see that there's a big sell-off right here coming into 11 a.m. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to wait. We're going to wait for a U shape. We're going to wait for buyers to step right back up or back in again, so we can look for a long opportunity. And if that happens, then perfect. Look at this. Shoots up again. So now think about this. Is there more demand in price right now, or is there supply currently? Based off this trend, is there demand or supply?
There's supply.
Demand. It's the other way around. Remember, demand's coming into this market on this particular time frame. Maybe you're saying supply because that 4-hour time frame is telling you supply. There's so much supply in the bigger picture. That's what you're saying supply for. But now if you're looking at this run up from right here to right here, there's demand. Okay. So if I go on to that 15-minute time frame.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I got you. I got it backwards. So yes.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, just like I mentioned, look at this. Demand's coming into the markets. And it just keeps making new highs. And so now what's the next thing? What do I have to do next? All I have to do is find the recent break, which is right here. Okay. That's the most recent break that I had. And I want to see this level hold. And if that holds, then perfect. You're just going to see this bounce and go higher. So let's see what happens. Okay, this is already what, 12:15, 12:20. This is already what? This is basically that Friday. Yeah, this is basically that Friday. And so right now, price is just holding above the previous high resistance, because remember, when it breaks above a new high, this is all one new high. Breaks above, and if we break new highs here, then perfect. We're just gonna run higher. So let's see what happens. So this one's kind of tricky. It's kind of taking its own time. And again, 12:30, 1 o'clock. There's really no value around those times. So now if it comes into like 1 o'clock or maybe 1:30, then perfect. We can start, start looking for a quick day trade. And look at this. It didn't come into around 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. It just died off. But that's okay. All right, that's okay. It doesn't have to hold here. But if it just starts showing me another, indication to go up again, maybe later that day, then perfect. But for right now, we're just waiting. We're just seeing as in how things are looking like. And look at this. It keeps on what? Testing, testing, testing. So now look at this. It's already 1 o'clock. Okay, cool. These are the times that I like to, come into this market and look for a trade. And so now what I like to do in these types of scenarios, just like this, is that, okay, yeah, broke a new high, came back down. What I want to do here is find the most recent area or the areas that I've just been rejecting, and just draw a line on it. Something like this. Reject, 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 reject. And now I want to trade something above it. Something like this. And we're going to see if we can get a breakthrough. Look at this, breakthrough. And now what I want to do here is I want to look for a break and then a retest. But for right now, it's still testing. It's still not breaking above this trend line yet. And so therefore, let me adjust my line. Something like this. Because I don't want just to enter. I want to enter with confidence. I want to enter with deep down confirmations so I can place a trade. So if I go into 5-minute again, look on how that 5-minute looks like. Okay, ran up, consolidate, consolidate, consolidate. And if it breaks above here, then perfect. I'm in. Nothing yet. Boom, broke above right there. It's breaking above that trend line. Let me get in. Maybe stop loss down here. And now I'm trading the breakout. And this is already what, 125, and I'm trading the run up. Bam. Nice, right? Nice, 15, 20%. And that's all you need. You don't need to go for, big home runs every single time, but as long as you follow the system with confirmations, since that's going to lead into, seeing the setup over and over and over again. Because again, this is what I do every single day, every single morning, is that, okay, maybe these zones is not holding right now, but I know for a fact that, this really wants to shoot up because the trend is very bullish, for today and within, maybe the day before. I just want to continue with that. And now I'm applying zones, but even though that I'm applying zones, it's like it's working here and there, but now it's like I want to now see how can I use things under my sleeve, meaning that, okay, maybe zones, it's not working today, but we're still trying to look for the upside. And that's where I could be like, let me apply a pattern. And that's what I just did right here, is we applied a pattern, which is, in this case, it's from the ebook. It's a bullish wedge. Okay. It's a bullish wedge because the market shot up, consolidated, and it shot up just like this. And that's basically demand. Demand is coming into these markets, and that's what it's showing you right here. So let's just see how much this goes. Bam. Wonderful, right? Wonderful. And all this right here is, again, it's like you just have to test it. You have to back test it. You have to take all these teachings that you've been learning with this whole mentorship and apply it onto these markets. And you can see that we're not really messing with the higher time frames, because the higher time frame is, yes, it's the strongest time frame, or it's the higher the time frame, the stronger it is, as in the levels, the key levels, the trends and things like that. Because